Finding balance amid a great turbulence, a multifaceted reflection on US-China conflict. Ladies and gentlemen, today we delve into one of the most defining geopolitical dramas of our time, the escalating conflict between the United States and China. This is not merely a trade dispute, nor a question of tariffs or export figures. It is a confrontation over global order, technological supremacy, and ultimately, the direction of human civilization itself. While some argue that China's strong export performance and strategic assertiveness have placed the United States on the defensive, the reality beneath the surface is far more complex. In this lecture, we will explore the hidden structural strengths of the US, the internal vulnerabilities facing China, and the delicate balance that the world must seek in this era of unprecedented competition. At first glance, China's short-term momentum appears impressive. Record-breaking exports, the weaponization of rare earth elements, and the resolute rhetoric of奉陪到底, we'll see it through to the end, paint an image of confidence and control. Yet beneath this surface lies a more nuanced reality, one where the United States still retains immense structural advantages, bolstered by its innovation capacity, economic flexibility, and global alliance network. Despite facing inflationary pressures, the US economy demonstrates remarkable resilience. Following the pandemic, employment rebounded faster than in most advanced economies, and its vast domestic market continues to act as a powerful shock absorber. Policies such as reshoring and friendshoring may impose short-term costs, but they are strategically designed to strengthen long-term supply chain independence. Tariffs, often seen as self-inflicted pain, have in many ways become the strategic price for reducing dependence on China and rebalancing global manufacturing geography. China, meanwhile, carries its own set of structural burdens beneath the veneer of robust trade numbers. The real estate crisis, surging youth unemployment, and rising local government debt pose serious risks to economic stability. Even as China attempts to distance itself from Wall Street capital, the withdrawal of foreign investors and the delisting of Chinese firms from international exchanges have eroded transparency and trust. In global finance, perception is everything, and capital tends to flee not where growth slows, but where confidence falters. The front lines of US-China rivalry have now shifted beyond trade into the realm of technological supremacy. China's use of rare earth elements as a pressure tool does pose a significant challenge to US industries, yet it is also a double-edged sword. By restricting exports, China risks accelerating the creation of alternative supply chains and spurring investment in recycling technologies. The United States, together with allies such as Australia and Canada, is already investing heavily in domestic mining and refining capabilities. In the realm of advanced semiconductors, Washington holds the upper hand, controlling the source technologies that power the global chip ecosystem. With firms like ASML in the Netherlands and Tokyo Electron in Japan aligning with US policy, China's path to technological self-sufficiency remains long and uncertain. The same logic applies to green technologies and electric vehicles. Although China currently dominates the lithium battery market, the United States Inflation Reduction Act, IRA, is catalyzing a massive industrial realignment. By incentivizing domestic and allied production of critical minerals and clean technologies, Washington is quietly laying the groundwork for a future where economic and technological leadership remains within its sphere of influence. In the geopolitical arena, America's greatest strength lies not in unilateral dominance but in alliances. China's Belt and Road Initiative has indeed expanded its presence across Africa, Southeast Asia, and the Middle East, but many of these projects have been shadowed by debt concerns and political backlash. The United States, on the other hand, continues to consolidate its network of allies through NATO, AUKUS, the Quad, and the broader Indo-Pacific strategy. These are not mere defense partnerships, they are integrated ecosystems of technology, intelligence, and economic coordination. China's growing partnership with Russia, often described as a no-limits friendship, may appear to challenge Western unity, yet it also deepens mistrust among Western powers toward Beijing. The Chinese doctrine of奉陪到底may project internal strength, but on the world stage, it risks being interpreted as rigidity or even hostility. In diplomacy, credibility and flexibility are worth more than coercion. Power in the modern world is no longer measured solely by force, it is measured by the ability to build trust. We are now entering an era of what can be described as simultaneous collision, a world where both great powers push against each other across economic, technological, and ideological fronts. Neither side is destined for absolute victory or defeat. The United States, though burdened by inflation and social division, retains the heart of the global financial system and the brain of global innovation. China, despite its impressive export engine, faces technological blockades and internal economic imbalances that will test its resilience in the long run. The real question is not who wins the next quarter, but who adapts better to the evolving structure of the global economy, and who sustains international trust in the decades ahead. The upcoming APEC meeting between Donald Trump and Xi Jinping may well become a symbolic stage in this geopolitical theater. It could be a moment of confrontation, or one of cautious diplomacy. Most likely, it will serve as a pragmatic attempt to define each side's red lines and prevent an uncontrollable breakdown. Both leaders, in their own ways, will seek to project strength at home while maintaining enough flexibility to avoid mutual disaster. Ultimately, the US-China conflict is not a contest over who can earn more or export more, but over who can shape the future of the global system. True power lies not in domination, but in the ability to set rules and maintain legitimacy. The United States, with its innovation ecosystem and democratic alliances, and China, with its immense scale and centralized coordination, represent two distinct models of civilization. But the true victor will not be the one that overpowers the other, it will be the one that learns to balance ambition with restraint, and competition with coexistence. Even in the midst of this great turbulence, history shows that the world has an inherent tendency to seek equilibrium. That balance, fragile, dynamic, and hard-won, is what will ultimately determine the stability of our shared future. And to achieve it, both the United States and China must remember, lasting power is not built on dominance, but on wisdom.